Governor of Colorado.
Thank you, Polly, Elise. Polly, you've been such a wonderful friend and mentor, and also your time you've spent as the founding board member of New America School and former chair. Elise, I've enjoyed fighting those battles with you, and as you know, we don't fight those for political reward. We fight them because they're the right things to do, and they're not easy. Thank you all for joining us. I want to ask I'm going to miss them if I name them, so if our office holders, those who are in public office, could raise their hands, let's give our office holders in the room a round of applause. On behalf of our communities. You know me pretty well, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and some of the things you may or may not know. So my parents moved to Boulder in 1970. My dad had gotten his PhD in physics. Because of that, he got a deferral from the draft, so he didn't have to serve. He was active in SDS, as was my mom back in the Vietnam War days. My mom was a school teacher in New Jersey. So they moved out here, and after a few years working at NOAA, the federal lab, which brought my parents here, they decided to risk everything and leave their day jobs to pursue their passions. My father is an artist, my mother as a poet. And they traveled around the country in a pickup truck selling their posters out of the back, and they were able to start a small family company, Blue Mountain Arts, still here in Boulder with 50 employees today. I'm so proud of my mom and dad. So I grew up in a household that wasn't necessarily political in the Democratic or Republican sense, but was activist, right? We talked about preventing nuclear disarmament. We talked about facilitating nuclear disarmament. We talked about the environment. We talked about causes, right? So it was no surprise that I wanted to get involved with making the world a better place. In college, I started my first company, an internet access provider called American Information Systems. I also started several others, proflowers.com, and I helped take our family company online, bluemountain.com, which we later sold. I was honored to have been a part of creating hundreds of good-paying jobs. And one of the things that we always did in the companies that I started, and I'm going to champion as your next governor, is employee ownership. We're going to make sure that it's not just the investors and the executives who do well, but the workers who do well. Through stock options, through stock grants, through ESOPs, and through co-ops, all of these different mechanisms we have, we're going to create a culture in Colorado, just like many of our craft brewers are employee-owned, just as in the tech industry, many of them use stock options. We want this to be the norm in Colorado. We did our Colorado Springs announcement today at a grocery store. Many of you remember, longtime Boulder residents, you remember Levers? They used to be on 30th. Actually, one of my partner Marlon's first jobs was a bagger at Levers. So that company today, Levers, is employee-owned. It wasn't then, but it became employee-owned about 5 years ago. So in Colorado Springs, there's a Levers Save-A-Lot market, 100% employee-owned, owned by the cashier, owned by the butcher, owned by the assistant manager. So as the company does well, the employees do well with it, and there was a lot of excitement in Colorado Springs about that today, and we're going to take that vision statewide. I started the morning in Pueblo, Colorado, and let me tell you, Pueblo is really at the heart of the green jobs that can't be outsourced revolution. I'm running on a bold plan for renewable energy. Let me ask you, my friends, is 30% renewable energy enough? No! Is 50% enough? No! Is 75% enough? No! I'm running on a bold plan for 100% renewable energy by 2030. And our friends in Pueblo, their city council has already adopted 100% by 2035 as their goal. Boulder has a goal. Many other municipalities do. Aspen, Colorado already has 100% renewable energy. With the absence of leadership from Washington on climate and environmental justice issues, it falls to states and counties and cities. And as your governor, I will make sure that Colorado leads the way in the renewable energy. And I think you all know my dedication to education. Polly talked about that. I served on the State Board of Education. I've co-chaired and supported so many mill levies and bonds across our state. I co-chaired one of BVSD's. I founded 2 schools to serve at-risk kids. And one of the things that's always been frustrating to me, watching it as a congressman, watching it as a state board member, is how in our state, for years, politicians have talked about preschool and kindergarten. Well, I think the time for talk is over, and what I'm committing to you is within 2 years, I'm going to bring together the stakeholders, the business community, educators, Democrats, and yes, even many Republicans, to go to the ballot to finally deliver on free preschool and kindergarten across every community. Not only, and thanks to our friends in the back, if people could take a couple steps forward, we'll make a little more room for some of our friends that are trying to get in the room. It's a good problem to have. You know, in planning these things in politics, you never want a room that's too big. But you also don't want one that's far too small or your supporters wander away. So we want to make room for as many people as we can. One of the things that we, not only is early childhood education, have an amazing benefit for families in terms of being the most important educational years, preschool and kindergarten. And for those of you who are new to the state who don't know, we only have half-day kindergarten and no free preschool unless you're very low income, then you get free preschool. But if you're middle class or working family, you don't get free preschool, you only get half-day kindergarten. States like Oklahoma and Georgia, free preschool and kindergarten, right? We need to do that here in Colorado. The most important years for a child educationally, and I can say that as the father of a almost 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, we're seeing that every day, are those early years. Kids need to enter first grade ready to learn, right? In addition to that benefit, this is important for working families. When you have somebody who's deciding if they can go back to work, or they can work half-time or full-time because they don't have childcare at home, when they're trying to find the cheapest daycare rather than the best daycare for their child, as many families have to do in our state. That's the reason that we need preschool and kindergarten in every community across our state. And with your help, we're going to get it done.